안녕하세요, Maheshri입니다. Hi, this is Maheshri. Now we are gonna learn verb conjugation. How to conjugate verbs into different tenses like present tense, past tense, present, past, future, continuous tenses, and future tense too. So we already know that all the dictionary form of verbs ends with tha, like these: oda, mashida, mokta, chuda, khada, kongbuhada, irada, kkeulh-i-da. The last three verbs comes into hada verbs category, and if you just learn the conjugation into present tense, you can do the conjugation to any tense very easily. The basic is conjugating into present tense, and most of the learners getting confused in this verb conjugation but you'll be not at all, because I'm gonna explain in a way that you can easily remember. So what you have to do is just to remember three simple basic rules. First, you need to get the verb stem from the dictionary form of verbs. How to do that? Very simple. Just remove the tha from the verb like this. Uda becomes o, mashida becomes mashi, and like that kumbuhada becomes kumbuha, like that. So the verb stem plays a main role here. So how to conjugate into present tense? Here are some three basic rules. The first rule is, if the verb stem's last vowel is a or o, it's followed by io. Like the examples are here. Puda, the verb stem is po, then it is ended by o, and chada, the verb stem is cha. Like that. The second rule is, if the last vowel, the verb stem's last vowel is not a or o, I mean the remaining vowels. If it's ended by the remaining vowels, it is followed by oyo. Here are some examples given for that type of verbs. And if the verb stem ends with ha, which I already told you that hada verbs. So if for that hada verbs, this rule follows. It is followed by yo-yo. That's it. We are done. So let's just look at some examples. So first, the verb stem followed by a or o. It is followed by io. Let's have a look at the verb stem ending with a. Khada. The basic verb you listen mostly is khada. Kha plus io. It becomes khayo, but it's not khayo. The khayo pronunciation is little weird, a little bit long too, so Koreans always say khayo but not khayo. And then chada, to sleep, cha plus ayo, it becomes chayo but not chayo. And thatta, to close, tat plus ayo, thadayo, but it's not thatyo. You can see the difference, right? The khada verbs, the ka verb stem doesn't have a final, which is a bachin position. So here this tatha and again this chatta to find have bachin positions there, so it just followed by ayo but not just yo. You can find the difference, right, by watching these. Chatta to find chajayo, right? If you can omit that yo part depending on what you're speaking. If you're speaking Chondemal formal language, you have to use that yo, and if you're not, you can remove that. And then let's see, the last verb stem's last vowel is o, then it is poda. Po plus a, payo. You can see that it's not poayo. If you spell the poayo very fastly, it becomes payo. Poayo, poayo, payo, right? So that o plus a becomes the compound vowel wa. So payo. Got it? Then oda becomes o plus ayo. Oayo, wayo. It's not oayo but it's wayo, a compound vowel. Wa, wayo. Then here this verb stem have a bachim position, have a bachim. So nul-da, to play, nul plus ayo, nurayo. You got that right. It is similar to the previous one. and then chutta becomes chuayo. So let's go to second rule. The verb stem which is not ended by a or o is followed by oyo. So verb stems ended with o. Mokta. Here mokta becomes mogoyo. It's very simple, right? Mok plus oyo, mogoyo. Then potta, to undress. Pot plus oyo, posoyo. Very simple, right? Then verb stem ending with e. Shinda, to put shoes or socks, which is shin plus oyo, shinoyo. Ilda, to read, il plus oyo, ilgoyo. Igida, here it is somewhat what is that confusing part. Igi plus oyo, it's not igioyo but it's igioyo, right? Igyo. E plus o becomes yo, like this. Igyoyo, got it? Then kkeulh-i-da plus oyo, kkeulh-i-oyo, but not kkeulh-i-oyo. Whatever, if you just pronounce the kkeulh-i-oyo, kkeulh-i-oyo very fastly, it becomes like kkeulh-i-oyo, kkeulh-i-oyo, kkeulh-i-oyo. Got the difference? So here are just these, because of weird pronunciation and easy pronunciation, they turned out like these. And let's see, the verb stems end with u. So chuda, to give. Chu plus oyo, chu-oyo, choyo. Chu-oyo is wrong, but choyo. It is again a compound vowel like this. Chu plus o is become cho, o, so choyo, cho. Okay. Ulda, to cry, uroyo. Here the verb stem ul has a bachim position, bachim here, so it's very easy to conjugate uroyo. Actually, basically I'm an Indian, so I might be pronounced little bit different from native Koreans, so please understand that. Verb stem ending with u, suda, to write, becomes su plus oyo, soyo. Here is another exception. Here u plus o becomes o, suda becomes soyo, and kuda becomes koyo, but not suoyo, not kuoyo. Okay. Then very simple one, the verb stem ending with ha, which are hada verbs. Here see this, ha plus yo-yo, a plus yo becomes a, ha plus yo-yo becomes heyo. Here is one of exception here, so it's basically for all the hada verbs it's just heyo. Let's see examples. Hada, to do, becomes hada plus yo-yo becomes heyo, but not hayoyo. Then kongbu hada, to study, becomes kumbu heyo. Then marada becomes mareo. So for all the hada verbs, the basic ending is heyo in the present tense. So if you wanna talk in formal language, so it's just mare, kumbu he, like that. Yonsup hada, to practice, yonsup ha plus yo-yo becomes yonsup heyo. So here in this, still there are some irregular verbs which doesn't follow these above rules, so those are I'm gonna explain them in next lesson. And there are some remaining tenses: past tense, future tense, and past, present, continuous tense. Actually I will explain those in next lesson too. Those are very easy. If you just learn this present tense conjugation, you can simply very easily within seconds conjugate those verbs into any tenses. So this is the basic one, and those irregular verbs I'll explain that in next lesson. And keep studying, keep practicing. 공부해요. 그리고 연습해요. And if you like my video, please thumbs up, click on like,